Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you're watching this video. Appreciate the support. Welcome back. Welcome to, if you're new, my name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily. Today is March 3rd, 2025. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a window to my thought process on what I think potentially is playing out with Bitcoin, where I'm setting alerts, what needs to happen in order to break bullish, what needs to happen in order to break bearish. We'll go from there. So, a lot of things that I've mentioned over the last couple weeks have been playing out. I hope you're taking notes. First things first, please, if you haven't already, please add the BTC.D chart to your trading view. This chart, the importance and value behind it, shows you when particularly we are going into alt season. That happens when Bitcoin's dominance goes down while Bitcoin's price goes up. Next, BTC 1 exclamation point. The importance of this chart. This is the CME futures chart. Excuse me. The importance of this chart is it somewhat moves different. You can see the difference in price because this chart closes when the market closes. And when it does close and there's price action thereafter, sometimes you get gaps in the price. You don't get gaps in stocks because it's a 24/7 thing. You get gaps in stocks. So we're here. And the reason why I'm telling you this is you can see this chart looks very similar to this chart. The difference is that gap. If you remember me saying over the past 3-4 months that there was a CME gap from 84 to 80,000, do me a favor, like the video, please. Show someone and be like, dude, this guy called this drop like 4 months ago. If you remember me saying that there was a CME gap on the daily time frame, this was only like 2-3 days ago when I made that video. And there was a gap from 93 to 94,000, but because we were in section B and we still have bearish sentiment on the longer time frames, we could see rejection from what was support and could turn into resistance. Like the video, please. Help a dude out. So we're here, cuzzies. We got rejected by the moving average. It's still purple because we're still in section B. We were oversold. We had a dead cat bounce, but now we're seeing major selling pressure. And the first thing that I see that you could notice also if you have this chart available is there's another gap. There is another gap from 89,000 down to 85,000. So what I do is I usually start long. Long-term trends predict short-term outcomes, and I'm curious to see if there's still bullish sentiment in the market. So when I look at the monthly, we haven't death crossed. Yes, we're coming down, but that means we could still have just a consolidation, as you can see here. The monthly has stopped and made a higher low. This is bullish. We're still in a lower high situation, okay? But now we're in a higher low situation. What does that mean? We have a trend. We have a triangle. Triangle usually leads to apex moments, and we could potentially go back up and form another lower high. But what this means, this bounce here and room to grow, especially in section A, which is when your RSI is above the 50 and between the 70. If we break the 70 and go back above, we can have another bullish couple of months. We could. So, not my opinion. I'm curious to see how long this pump happened. From the 61 to the 75, it lasted 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we double top. So 4 months. I have been saying for the longest time, I don't think it's the at the top. It usually doesn't end this time in the cycle. Trump did announce that we could potentially have a reserve. I will dig deep into that to see when. That would definitely help pump Bitcoin and the market one more time. Even just the news about it And then I'm curious, I will be going back and forth with the Bitcoin dominance chart to see where this tops off and starts forming bearish divergence, because then we will be entering officially a more bullish alt season. As of right now, though, once again on the daily chart, what I'm going to do is set an alert at the 50 line on the futures chart. And because we're still in section B and section B, what that means is, yes, we're about to golden cross, but we're below the histogram. Okay, that usually means we could stay flat now between 95,000 and 84,000. Somewhat form a bottom. We haven't seen, it's very, very early. As of right now, the first thing that stands out like a sore thumb is this right here. On the weekly time frame, what am I seeing? We are on like a thin ice area. Okay, previously when we've come down below the 50 line, we formed a nice little bottom and popped back up, right? We came below the 50 line, we formed a nice little head and shoulders and popped back up. As of right now, the buying pressure that did happen yesterday stopped us, and we have a bottom forming at the 50 line. Somewhat bullish, okay? Still too early to tell. This is a speculation theory. If this does stop, though, above the 0 line, and if this does stay above the 50 or around, at least for the next couple of weeks, right, then this could be another one of these just playing out, simply put. And then you would take from here to here, play devil's advocate, just from the bottom to the top is 139, from the top to the top 150. Okay, that's the bullish scenario. Bearish scenario, excuse me. Sorry, from New York. It was literally 66 the other day, now it's 25. Go figure. All right, so we're here. Let's make it a little bit clearer for everybody to see. Bearish scenario. This was support. We use it as resistance. We have more room to bleed. This is resistance. This seems like support, right? We're doing this. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm curious if we do this and then pop up, if we do this and then fall down. So what does that mean? Change this alert, bring it right to here to the wick of 95 just to see if we do break up. If we do break up, then these prices are back on the table, right? And this would be considered a fake out if we do something like this. I'm going to try and confluence this with divergences. As of right now, the everything's just beat up, right? What I mean by divergences is now, in order for this to prove that is a bottom, we need to stay between 83 and 95 and stay flat. But the MACD waves and swings, I'd like to start going flat or going up. Your RSI waves, the same way they are going down, right? Down, down, down. It's pretty overbeat. But you could see we could stay in section B and section B and still make lower highs, lower lows. Once we start making the same low, while this makes a higher low and this makes a higher low, that's when this makes a higher low, forms a bullish pattern, and then breaks to the upside by making an ascending triangle, right? As of right now, we're still making the first low. So I don't know if we're going to make a lower low, like this one, or if we're going to make the same low. There is still room to bleed on a 2-week chart. This right here looks very scary. This, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. First time we made lower high, wave 1, wave 2, right? We're lower high. Macro now, right? Macro, high 1, low 1, lower high. Never good. When you're seeing that, and this, right? So this made lower high, this made higher high. This doesn't show me very bullish signs. We have potential room to still bleed. MACD is literally in the 2-week candle of it, death crossing, right? You could see here blood. We could have another 2-3 candles of blood showing us this is a 2-week chart. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks, right? Once again, nothing bullish happened until bullish sentiment happened on the RSI. We had an inverse head and shoulders, if everyone remembers me talking about that, right? The 1, 2, 3, and then we popped to the upside. That has not happened yet. Right now, these are considered either dead cat bounces or the early beginning of one of these. Still undetected and too early to tell either. Support. Let's look at support. A lot of people are mentioning the 70,000 as support because that is previous resistance. That could be a possibility. I sometimes like to use moving averages to see where they lined up in the past as support. So you see how these are above. I want to see below. All right, so we went from the yellow to the green, from the green to the white. We went from the yellow right here to the green, from the green to the white, 81,000. We could go back and refill that CME gap since we're seeing rejection of the moving averages now. And like I said, right now it's dead cat bounce mode because we've seen support, but we could go back up, see rejection from the moving average, the RSI moving average, form a lower high to the 102,000, and still make a lower low in section B, showing us that this low here of 79, I don't know if it's the official bottom yet, because once again, I'm not seeing anything on the charts yet. We are getting a bullish divergence, right? Showing us that once again, there is room to potentially go back to the upside. As of right now, this daily chart doesn't look great, and we have a CME gap, and I would like to see a double bottom back at the 83,000. That is that. Turn this back on. Let's do a little XRP. XRP. Start long. Once again, still remains bullish because we're above the 206 level, which was major resistance once and twice on 2 macro levels. That's a bullish sign. I'm probably going to set an alert at the 305 level. If we break that, then we're off to the upside. The most bullish thing that has happened is we have stopped above the moving average. We're still in section A. I'm going to set an alert on the monthly at the 70.57. If we break into section B, into section B, into section A plus, which is above the 70 and above, like here or here or here, you're very bullish. Most important thing is, do we break the 84.24? Because if we don't, then that's the form of bullish divergence on a longer time frame, and could show me that this is the last hoorah for XRP. If we make the same high, same thing, could be a double top. If we make a higher high, we have potential to make a higher low and go even higher. As of right now, all three scenarios are on the table because we've just formed the bottom. We haven't come close to the top yet. When I start zooming in, okay, here we go. As of right now, not the best, right? 1, 2, lower high, you know, not the best case scenario. I would like to see it break the 315 and 341. Most bullish thing that I am seeing, though, is this could just be a sideways channel and a continuation to the upside. The volume is coming out of the MACD, going more towards the positive side, and we have bounced off the 50 line. We're still in section A. The first thing I would like to do is start zooming in to see if we're getting any bullish signs. Okay, so bullish signs are your MACD is pretty much double bottomed, and your RSI has made a double bottom as well. We've made a higher high, and we're now in section A. What does that mean? We could stay above the 250 level and stay above the moving average. Both of these double bottomed while your price made a lower low, this right here, 1, 2, while these two made same low and pretty much same low. That is a bullish continuation to the upside. Now I'm curious to see. This was resistance. So you are having a double confluence bullish sign right now. You're having the moving average turn to white and you're using it as support. What was resistance all the way back since January 18th, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance has switched bullish. So now this should not be going down anymore. We're curious to see if the next low that comes in is now doing just regular bullish divergence. Regular bullish divergence is when these waves start going up and they're aligned with the price action swings. Hidden bullish is when one's going bullish and the other one's doing bearish, right? This is bearish, lower low. This is bullish, double bottom. So we're here. Next bottom could this now it is using it as support, but this could trickle back down to this major liquidation zone of the 234, form that higher low, and then I officially have a bottom to draw. You understand? Swing high, we went 1, 2, 3, so I could see something like this playing out. We still remain in section A, showing us that when we do bottom, we could make a higher low and swing back up to the 290 or potentially even the 314 level like this right here and form a higher high. Let's look at the XRP versus Bitcoin. I always start long. Let's delete everything, see what we're seeing. Okay, so we're here. We went from oversold to overbought, but you got to look at it closely. We did make a higher low, showing me that we could have, once again, this is a monthly chart, we could have 1-2 months of bullish sentiment, and because we're in section A and we're potentially approaching section A plus, if we go back up to even the 70, that's a higher high. If we break it, we're breaking this level and this level right here. We're going to break the wicks and then break to the upside. So now I'm going to start zooming in. You can see wicks. Wicks is very good. We're in section A plus, as you can see. That's a bullish sign. 2, 1. Okay. This has a little bit of room to bleed. If you remember from the last video, going up, lower high, breaking and resistance. XRP might bleed a little bit. Like I said, back down to the 245 to 232 level, form a higher low to the 193 though, and then at that point, this chart would be aligned. I would like to see it. Come on, man. It needs to form a high. If it breaks this, there's room to bleed. It's that simple. If you break this support, there's room to bleed to the next level. It's that simple. This 53 level. So we need to see. The alt games are tricky, right? Because if XRP versus Bitcoin goes down, but Bitcoin goes up, XRP stays flat. If XRP versus Bitcoin stays flat, while Bitcoin goes up, XRP goes up. So we need to see what happens with this chart, and then we need to see what happens with this chart. If both go down, XRP bleeds to the lowest point possible. Like I said, the XRP goes all the way back to 238. If it doesn't bleed that much, XRP goes back to 248. 248 to 250. So now we need to set some alerts. One, I'm setting an alert here at the 50 line, 247 on the daily. Go to the XRP Bitcoin chart. Remove, go to the weekly. Putting an alert here, right below at the 6482 level. Notifying me that poo-poo's hitting the fan there. This will notify, see this one already broke down. The XRP versus the dollar. This is about the death cross. Yeah, this is going down over the next week, back down to these levels here. We need to see if we make that high or low, like I said, to the 228. Macro, not the best scenario, because if we don't break the 339, then this looks like a head and shoulders, and we could break down back into this section. How would that happen? That would happen if we bleed versus Bitcoin and go back down 20%. Yeah, I could see that. 20%. If you go down 20% versus Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes down as well, we could potentially go back down to the 205 level. There it is. 20%. So set your alerts. As of right now, a lot lies on this chart. The resistance, right? I mean, what was support, we've called it days ago. What was support was turned right into resistance. This is like a confirmation pattern showing me that there is more room to the downside, or at least back to this level here, and then we need to see what plays out thereafter. Bitcoin, this one, daily, 12-hour. Yeah, 12-hour went from the 30 to the 50, got rejected, and we're going to fill this gap now of 89 to 85,000. 6 hours left in this candle, and then we'll see what happens thereafter. Love you guys. Appreciate the support. You can clearly see the market bottom indicator was going off when we were filling the gap. You know, there's different scenarios and different advice to give everybody. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin for the next 5-10 years and you're a long-term investor, yeah, great time to buy, you know, 70 to 80,000. If you're trading daily or scalp trading or even swing trading, you know, I still got to let the chart play out. Update on the indicator. I have a new version. There was a bug again. Shout out to you guys for checking the script. That's it. I will email everyone the updated script. Discord link is in the description. That is free. Please make sure you're talking to me. The Fiverr link for my indicators in the description as well. Any comments, questions, concerns, any tickers you'd like me to do in my next video, please leave it in the comments section. Besides that, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy.